Imagine you achieved every single goal that you set for yourself. It all starts with small promises that you keep with yourself. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why keeping your promises, even on the tiniest things, can unlock your potential and lead you to massive success. If you're serious about achieving your goals, you can't afford to miss this. So, why is it very important to keep your word with yourself, even on the smallest things? As I'm doing for the next 90 days, I'm doing the 90 optimal days challenge. Why, at this point in my life, is it easier for me to go ahead and achieve those goals, right? Most people, if they were given a list of things to do every single day for the next 90 days, they can't do it. But why is that? Because they haven't started building their trust in themselves. So they don't trust themselves. They don't believe in themselves. Why? Because all that they've shown themselves is simply that they cannot be trusted, right? Because when you are paying a credit card and you can't pay that credit card and you're going over the limit, what are you telling them? Why is your credit score low? Because you're showing them that you cannot be trusted. So believe it or not, you have a credit score with yourself. One second, let me drink. I don't even have a fucking drink. Damn. At the end of the day, you have a credit score with yourself, whether you want to believe it or not. Every single day, if you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't do it, you're dropping that credit score down, 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 down. Why? Because you're not keeping your promises, no matter how small or how big the promises are. And if you can't keep your promises on the small things, then all those big dreams that you have, you can go ahead and kiss them goodbye right now if you can't keep your word with yourself, even on the smallest things. So, what I have done in my life in order to build this trust in myself is I simply keep the word even when I have to wake up at a certain time. If I tell myself I'm going to do 500 push ups, this is my mentality. If I tell myself I'm going to do 500 push ups in an hour, it doesn't matter how hard it gets. And this is why you got to see the bigger picture, right? Because think about this. Think about how I'm talking about my mentality towards push ups, and then you can expand it towards life, right? So if I tell myself I'm going to hit 500 push ups in an hour, I don't care how hard it gets. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care if I have to break it down into small steps. I'm going to achieve it no matter what. I don't care if I have to break it into 10 sets of or into, 50 sets of 10, or I don't care if I have to do them one by one. I'm going to get it done no matter what. Why? Because I told myself I was going to do it. So since I told myself I was going to do it, I value keeping my word to myself, keeping that promise with myself. Why? Because if I can keep that promise to myself, like I just said, think about how it can be applied to the bigger picture. If I tell myself that with simply just push ups, imagine a bigger goal in my life. Imagine a huge goal that most people call a dream. It's very achievable. It doesn't matter how long it takes, it doesn't matter how hard it gets. I don't care if I have to do it one by one. Understand that. I don't care if I have to break it down. The point is, it's going to get done because I said it's going to get done. So that's the type of mindset that you want to curate when you're trying to achieve your goals, whether they're big or small. So it all starts with setting a time to wake up. Why is that? Because that's the very first battle you have. If you cannot win the battle with your mind to do something that's difficult, now imagine a big goal, a huge goal that you have in your life, because that's going to be way harder than just waking up in the morning. I promise you that. The big goal that you have, the one that's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort, it's going to get hard. So when you wake up in the morning and it's hard, it's difficult, and you can do that, you start building this trust with yourself that you're the type of man who can do things no matter how hard, no matter how difficult they are. And your woman will trust you, your friends will trust you, people will put their trust in you because you show you're the type of man who can handle pressure. You can handle things when they get tough. Because imagine a woman looking up to a man and that man can't handle pressure. She can't respect him. She can't admire him. She can't see him as her hero. So at the end of the day, if you want to be respected by others, if you want to be admired, you have to do things that are difficult. So like I said, wake up time. Doing sticking to a diet is great. Why? Because you're sacrificing. Every single day when you feel like eating those snacks, you sacrifice. Meaning you give up something. You give up something of this is what a sacrifice is. You're giving up something of a lower value, something of less significance for something of a greater purpose, right? So for example, why is it that back in the day they would sacrifice lambs for God, right? Because in their eyes, God has a much bigger purpose than the lamb. So they sacrifice it, right? So when you are trying to reach a stronger mindset, when you're trying to reach a higher level of consciousness, when you're trying to self-master yourself, of course, what you need to understand is that you're going to have to make sacrifices. The sacrifices have to be made. And if you don't sacrifice what it is that you feel like doing right now, then your goal will become the sacrifice. And if you let your goal become the sacrifice, you will live a life that is not fulfilled. Why? Because what you're saying is that your dream life, your goals, is less significant than those snacks. Whenever you tell yourself you want to lose weight, whenever you tell yourself you want to get in shape, but every single time you go to the snacks, every single time you break your word and you go binge eat, every single time you go eat all the ice cream that you can and you go over your calories, what you're telling yourself is this right here is more important than my goal. My goal is of less significance. I'd rather be fat. I'd rather be out of shape. I would rather be someone who is unattractive and I can't respect instead of just sacrificing these snacks. So think about that when you think about any goal that it is, there always has to be a sacrifice. So when you can sacrifice on small things, then guess what? Any goal you set for yourself, you wake up, you decide today that you want to achieve something. If you can do it with the small things, you'll be able to do it. It might take you a while. Some goals are different, right? Because if you tell yourself you want to achieve a six pack, 90 days is pretty much all you need. 90 days, depending on how much body fat you have, 90 days, right? And even if it takes a little bit longer, what's the mentality? However long it takes, but you're going to make it happen. So understand that. Understand that you have to break things down in your mind to where you can do daily tasks so that the goal seems achievable. Because when you think about in sales, right? $1 million, people think that $1 million is so much money. But think about this. When you think about how in sales, if you sell a product that is $250 and you sell it 4,000 times, does $1 million really seem that unachievable? No, it doesn't, right? And if you sell that product 400 times, you'd be making six figures. You would be making $100,000. So people think that these big goals are super unattainable. But when you can show yourself that you can accomplish small tasks by simply breaking it down, you can achieve big goals like that, right? Because to most people, 100,000 would be a lot of money. However, when you see 100,000 and you break it down and you say, okay, I just got to hit this $250 mark 400 times. You do it once, you do it twice, you do it 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And every single day, you're taking a step forward. You're taking a step forward. You're taking a step forward. Closer and closer to the goal every day. That's why when I tell myself that I'm going to see my abs, the reason why when for over 23 years, I had never seen my abs. I was genuinely questioning whether I even had them or not. But once I understood that it was just my body fat percentage was a little bit higher than it should have been, I understood how I'm going to break this down. I understood how I'm going to diet. I understood what my daily tasks are going to be. And then once I understood that, I told myself 90 days and I'm going to see my abs. 90 days. And guess what? It wasn't guesswork. It wasn't a matter of if it's going to happen. It was 100% going to happen. Why? Because I broke it down to myself and I gave myself very achievable daily tasks for me to hit in order to get there. So once you can do that, you can do anything in life. You can achieve any goal in life. Once you can do that and you can break your limiting beliefs, because a lot of times the other reason why you can't achieve your goals is because you have limiting beliefs. Like when I was talking about cars once upon a time when I worked a job, and the coworkers, they were all talking about what cars would you drive, and this girl said, "Oh, what is your dream car?" Blah blah blah. And we talked about a Rolls Royce, and I said, "Would you ever buy a Rolls Royce if you could?" She said, "Be fucking for real." So as you can see, that's a limiting belief. She'll never be able to achieve that because of the fact that she has a belief that does not let her get over this certain line, right? Like this is the Nissan, this is the Toyota, and the Rolls Royce is up here. But if her limiting belief is only right here, that's all she will ever get. It's the same thing with you. Break your limiting beliefs. Understand that anything is possible once you can keep your word on the smallest task, and you can then break it down into small steps. Anything in this world is possible. If you truly try and you truly apply yourself, there's no way you can fail. You might fall a couple times. The only way you can truly fail is if you quit. You might fall down a few times, but you can achieve a goal 100% if you give it your all, if you try, and you actually put in effort. That's what you have to understand, because, like I said, if you understand that with the mindset that I have, then you might see things that people might deem as failures as simply you just falling down. And what happens when you fall down? We've all fell down a couple times before, right? You just get back up. You brush it off, and you get back up. So when you see your goals that way, anytime that you experience some sort of adversity, you get back up, you keep it pushing. Experience adversity, you get back up, you keep it pushing, and you learn from those mistakes so that the next time around, you're less likely to fall. But the only way you can fail is if you quit. That's the video for today.